Control. We are on Xbox One X. This presents an enhanced resolution with the enhancement at 30 FPS with no HDR support. So part of this is filmed with the DVR on the Xbox One X, and part of it I had to use the old school PVR because there were DVR issues with this particular title. Just so you know. Moving past this, the story follows Jesse. This is going to mostly, I think, be spoiler free. None of it will really make any sense for you anyways, because the game is a very interesting sort of supernatural psychological thriller. So Remedy, they do narrative-driven games. Alan Wake, Quantum Break, they make some of my favorite titles. And this one continues that tradition of being weird, bizarre, all over the place. It makes sense when you play the game narrative-wise, but at the start you'll be like, what is going on here? And that's the beauty of these titles. They get you really into the story, really caring about your core character, and then just showcasing this strange, neat world that you get to visit. And you're in the bureau of Control, and this place is massive. There's different departments you get to visit. There is a main narrative, but there are also sort of side quests that you can do that actually grant you special abilities. On top of that, there are timed events you can do that also give you something else. There's just like a lot of content that keeps you playing the game even when you finish the main narrative, if that's something you want to do. I personally just went through the story and I'm like, wow, that was fantastic, great. And I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It is very well done. The narrative is fantastic. It's cool and fun to play. It's sort of a intense action adventure sort of thing with, gunplay going on here. So you're playing as Jessie. She's lost something, but she has something that, drives her. And she's trying to find her brother due to some sort of weird situation that happened with the Bureau when she was younger. And that's how she ends up here today during some sort of crazed invasion situation. And she stumbles into this rule where she picks up this magical gun and she becomes sort of the director. Now, that's as far as I'll go because I don't want to spoil any aspects of the game, but that's just sort of the premise. You're thrown into this, you have no idea what's happening, everyone else is super cool with it, you get all these abilities that you can work through to kind of make you be able to use like these force powers almost, and to be able to take more damage, and there's certain like weapon mods and character mods. There's a lot of stuff to kind of find and unlock and enhance your abilities as you keep fighting with this gun. So this gun's got multiple sort of things that it can do, so you sort of upgrade these by finding items and materials in the game. And that's how I ended up with main pistol, and then I also have a shotgun one, but there are other combinations that you can create and then customize afterwards. And it's just a really neat, weird looking gun that sort of reminds me of the weird Forerunner type weapons in Halo, to be honest, just because it's so crazy. So yes, as you're moving through this really great and fairly lengthy story, I believe it's a little bit tougher than some of the other Remedy titles in the past, at least in my opinion. But yeah, it's just quite an adventure. It's very interesting. Yeah, and for the most part, it's really well done. You get checkpoints in the game by going to these control points. That's one aspect I do find a little annoying, is the checkpoint system is a bit odd. Sometimes it's nice because certain enemies don't reappear when you come back, but you do have to walk a fair bit to get the things. So if you're doing, say, a boss fight that's coming up, you actually have to walk, like a few minutes to get back to the boss fight area. That's just kind of annoying, in my opinion. There's also some small kind of performance issues that come up when the game is really going nuts. You don't really notice it. It doesn't detract from gameplay, but I thought it was something worth noticing, is that when it gets haywire, it's crazy, and you can't see little dips as you're fighting around. Moving past that, the game is really visually neat to look at. It features some like insanely hard reds, and the video capture does not do justice to what you're seeing on your screen. There were moments where it was just like pure like red and orangish looking. It was crazy. There's some neat boss fights, some neat characters, a great sense of mystery within this title. I mean, you're never quite sure what's going to happen. There are some puzzles, just minor ones, nothing too insane. And this strange motel that you kind of see many times that acts as a a dimensional portal of sorts. I was really intrigued by the sort of world around where you're going. Like, it's business as usual for all the people here, but you coming in as this, like, fresh newbie, this newcomer, you're looking at, like, every room is something of wonder. There's always something weird going on in the background. Honestly, I wish there were more, even more, like, kind of little places that you could go and visit here just to, like, kind of take it in. And there are a couple of those where you see these experimental rooms, because there's these objects of power that are strange, regular household kind of things that makes them creepy, because they're usually kid-oriented. But, yeah, it's just absolutely wild to see all this come into play. They've created a very unique sort of, environment that I think they could potentially go very far with, just in terms of the scope of the world. Like, this is an intimate tale that literally takes place just inside this building, but this building is so much greater than anyone could anticipate this facility, because it's so dimensional and crazy. There's all these levels to it, there's all these hidden places, all these locations to visit. There's just a lot going on in it, and it really does, if you've played other, Remedy titles, it's right on brand with that. It definitely feels like it's taken Quantum Break and sort of cleaned up the grit and everything, like the noise on it, and you just get these clear, really great looking visual images. Character models, for the most part, are fantastic. You get a fairly good sense of emotion, and there's a nice sense of play in the world too, as you're going to see demonstrated here, where you can get creative in how you get to places, and you get more abilities as you do, like, side missions and main missions. And then everything is reactive in this world. I love it. Like, papers fly off of boards, things explode, you can break the ground and take rocks from it to throw at stuff. Oh, this is the area where you get to visit, like, the weird experiments that are going on. And it's just like this crazy, strange psychological landscape where anything could happen. Like, I hope you come out of, like, watching this and you'd be like, I really have no idea what this is about, because that's what it should feel like. This should give you a sense of, wow, there are some crazy things going on in this game. I want to know more about it and to see this unfold, because I really do think that this is a very well done story, with a great lead character that has a purpose. It's got a sense of mystery where you're like, what is happening? This is wild. But yeah, you will actually, I think, get a good sense of perhaps difficulty here. You'll be a little bit more powerful with the side things that you do, of course, if you invest more time in it. I did find the ending to be, the ending segments, a little bit more difficult just due to the checkpoint system within the game, but nothing too bad where I was, like, struggling, It's very much a run, gun, pick things up, throw things around, and then, get invested in a little bit of the story as you go along. There's cinematics. You can talk to characters if you want to get more context into what's going on in the world. So there are, like, chat options, and it's so interesting, to see this world where I'm very much wanting to go out there and grab collectibles, watch TV segments, look around in areas that you're not necessarily supposed to go to. Like, there's a very large map, there's multiple floors of this building, and I was always like, I want to get through the story fast so that I can get the coverage done, but I want to go out and I want to see these other rooms, and I want to see what's hidden, and I want to read these documents, because there's, like, tons and tons of collectibles. I think I got the achievement for over 120 collectibles or something. There's so many here, and they're clip documents and voice recordings. And this is a bright, flashy thing, just for a warning, just so you know it's a flashy room. And there's so many weird creatures and monsters, and the world itself changes with each control point. The entire area around you sort of shifts to more of a natural state of affair, which is cool. And you get to just watch this character just deal with this, like, crazy landscape, this world where everything, like, physically breaks down, and there's strange characters, and there's death all around, and it's a weird place. So there's lots to do, lots to see. I really enjoyed Control. I thought it was worthwhile, right on par with the other Remedy titles. And it's neat. Oh, you can also customize outfits if that's important to you. But yeah, that's basically what Control is. Main quests, side quests to do afterwards, lots of content, and a very worthwhile and full experience.